So the easiest way that I've seen no one talk about to hit 100K a month in 2025 with your coaching business is to start a coaching cult. And this is 1 month's revenue in my own coaching business when we accidentally did this in December of 2023. So if you are an online coach or consultant, anyone who acquires clients through their personal brand, or you're looking to start that, here's what you can expect once you implement this. You're going to be able to book 2 to 5 hyper qualified demo calls per day with an audience of under 5,000 people. There's not going to be any sales call. A part of this process is going to be no phone setting to actually get them onto the meeting. And it's only ever going to be high leverage one-to-many activities to actually set appointments. So this is stuff like posting stories. This is stuff like writing emails, but ultimately you're not going to be stuck up in 1,000 one-on-one conversations to actually fill your calendar. The next thing you can expect is autonomous service delivery with exceptional results and stacking recurring revenue. Now, a lot of coaching businesses, almost actually all of them, have absolutely zero recurring revenue, and therefore their revenue resets to zero every month and they have to kind of build it back. If you can implement a coaching call, you're going to be able to get consistent, guaranteed revenue that you know is going to stay. And you're only going to have to work with clients once per week directly. You get to spend most of your time working on your product. You never have to deal with client paper cuts from poor expectations again. Client impacts and they implement everything that you actually tell them. So if you say, hey, I'd like you to implement this system, here's the video and the doc to do so, they're actually going to implement it to the extent that you've said to do it. And then finally, because they do that, they're actually going to get exceptional results because the way your programs are structured and the way that you actually communicate and structure your business in this cult-like framework, you are going to be able to get recurring payments. Next thing, going to be a highly leveraged process to work. So you're only going to have to work 4 hours daily on weekdays. That is actually the cornerstone of what my company, Scholar Systems, optimizes founders to do because we realize that spending that time working on your product, uploading YouTube videos, writing emails is the highest leverage thing that only you can do as the person with the personal brand. Then, timeline to actually get all these plethora of results, because I know there's some crazy results. You can expect to see a lot of the results from building this cult-like coaching business within 90 days of actually starting. Now, here is the proof and the story of how it actually worked for me. Early stages of my coaching business in 2023, we were selling a $100 product called the First Client Challenge. My business partner and I were making 10 to 20K a month. We're still establishing our personal brands, building up this YouTube channel from complete scratch. You can see a lot of the videos actually on this channel. We had inconsistent income that was completely algorithm based. So if a video got 1,000 views, we'd probably be making a good amount of money. But if it got 200 or 300, we'd be making absolutely nothing. And we had a very little spark of coaching cult. We have a little bit of a community of people that knew, like, and trust us building, but we still didn't have anything crazy yet. Now, mid-stage of 2023, after we continued building our personal brand, we were getting to 40 to 50K a month in consistent revenue without any major price increases and had the absolute most potent and strongest coaching cult presence we've ever seen. We would have people showing up to our calls, they would be wearing our shirts, they'd be requesting to order merchandise from us, and essentially we had built people who were completely invested in our brand, what we do, and spent the majority of their days, so the 4 to 8 hours a day that they spend working, in our ecosystems. And then we completely got rid of that. In late 2023, we did 13K a month in revenue, so the actually month before that 100K month. We had zero coaching cult presence and we had extremely strong personal brands. Essentially, what we did is we shut down our coaching business to run an actual marketing agency to prove and actually build social proof for the offer we were running. We came back December 2023, reignited the coaching cult presence, introduced a 4.5K product, so a little bit different from the offer that we were selling here. And as you can see, we hit 100K a month in December of 2023. Now, I'm going to show you all the strategies that we did to actually take this crazy organic audience that we were seeing and without having any one-to-one direct conversations, allow people to become, as we frame it, parasocial with our business and with our personal brands to ultimately have them convert and work with us. But before I do that, I just want to make a little PS statement. This is for an education and not entertainment purposes. I'm a boring guy who builds coaching businesses, and I'll make sure that in this video you're compensated with actionable value instead of dopamine. So just strap up because it's probably not going to be the most fun thing in the world. Now, for the following weeks after we actually hit 100K a month, my business partner and I had to spend weeks trying to dissect what actually led to our success. And it led to us studying some of the most famous and dark cults in the world, but it also made us study some of the most famous brands in the world. And we realized that they employ the exact same strategies. So here are the comparisons between a cult and a really good brand. Now, the first thing we have is the idolized leader or the CEO and founder. This is key to the movement. This is where all your attention goes. The cult is a charismatic leader that becomes the figurehead, embodying the group's vision and value. And in business, it is the CEO or the founder of the brand who's often idolized. If you want to think of a brand in your mind, think of Elon Musk at either Tesla, X, or even SpaceX, any of his companies. Second thing is going to be core beliefs, which is the equivalent of brand mission and values. So in a cult, it is a unified shared belief system or doctrine driven by behavior or loyalty. And in business, it's strong mission statements or brand values that create an emotional connection. Essentially, why are we here? What are we doing here? Now, at SpaceX, that is, well, we want to get to Mars. We want to explore different planets. And in a business, it could be, sorry, in a cult, it could be something a lot more nefarious, but essentially, you are directing all the attention, and the figurehead, the CEO or founder, is the person doing that. Third thing is going to be ritual habits. So, ritualistic activities to reinforce the customer experience, etc., etc. So, business that could be consistent brand experience, product usage, or rituals. And there's a plenty of examples you can think of that. My favorite one is how Apple launches all their products at their slideshows. And if you've never seen that, quickly show you right here. Apple product launches. They've launched every single product like this, and it's almost become a ritualistic thing in the tech world. So, another thing, distinctive language, so brand vocabulary, unique phrases and jargons to establish and identify outsiders. And in business, that is essentially what a slogan is. And in brands like Apple, it could be Think Different, or Nike's Just Do It. You've already heard and seen these thousands of times. Fifth thing, and this is where it gets kind of scary, is group exclusivity, which is VIP or membership models. Now, one of the biggest things that makes a successful cult work is that members feel as though they are special, feel as though they are exclusive. And the best businesses in the world do this exact same thing by always providing member clubs that have a unique set of benefits that are associated with them. Think Amazon Prime, think joining exclusive waitlists, think all of these things. And then sixth is going to be the enemy and outsiders. So this is enemies who we're against. So if we're in the in group over here, anyone that is outside of that and a specific kind of person is going to be our enemy, so that we have something to run away from and something aspirational to chase. Now, cult, this is probably going to be a non-believer. There's going to be the government. There's going to be probably someone who's trying to knock the sense into you. But in business, it can be your competitors. It can be another form of institution that's competing with you. It could be competing industry. Maybe if you work in the solar energy space, that could be someone who's trying to build nuclear energy. Maybe if you run an info product that teaches people how to go through and get a job without college, the enemy might actually be college. And there's a whole plethora of these things. Next is going to be community. So tight-knit, independent community where members feel a sense of belonging. Now, the most famous business in the world did an excellent job of this in creating a community where people are willing to spend their entire days within. The best example of this that you and I can probably all reference off the top of our mind is a guy named Hamza Ahmed. He has a school group, and inside that school group, you will see literally thousands of guys primarily who spend their entire days optimizing their lives around sharing in this group and leveling up in this group. And it's kind of crazy when you see it in action. Eighth thing is going to be emotional appeal. So a cult evokes emotional connections by beliefs and practices. Now, in business, this is storytelling, this is marketing to show that you have walked the same path as anyone who's promoting a vision. So, for example, if you are selling an info product in a certain niche, it could be the fact that you share in common that you dropped out of college because you didn't like the education system. Next thing is going to be indoctrination, so onboarding process. This is how you onboard even staff members to your team. It can be how you onboard customers to your team. It can be even the way they watch your YouTube videos. In fact, you're being indoctrinated right now by my methodology of scaling a business. Now, 10th thing here is going to be symbols, logo, identity. That one's pretty simple, just company logo. And then we finally have devotion, which is brand loyalty. So essentially what that is going to be when people become pretty much well-known raving customers and advocates of your brand. So think when someone's done testimonial for you and hand over fist would do anything for you. I know a lot of people here probably have clients who, even if they messed up, would probably stick up for them and vouch for them in certain situations. Now, that is the comparison between a cult, which could be the most nefarious thing in the world, or it could be the difference between a really good business. Now, the reason why they do this is because it pretty much inspires the happiest customers, which is not a bad thing. And it inspires the most longevity amongst those customers and ultimately the highest revenue and profitability. So it can be a good thing. Now, a successful cult or business simply delivers an experience of the great fundamentals, which is what we're going to cover in this next section right here, in order to influence the customer in a positive way. It's the same thing as, again, I mentioned earlier, nuclear energy or a knife. It can be used to create things or it can be used to destroy things. It just depends on the intention of the user. So now I'm going to show you, assuming that you have the intention to actually positively influence people, how to actually employ all these strategies and make lots of money for yourself because you're having these customers that are hand over fist dedicated to your brand, what you do in your methodology. Now, actual factors for doing this thing. We need a charismatic leader, we need a clear enemy, we need a core belief system, we we need an exclusive community, we need symbolic identity, rituals and practices, transformational promise, and an us versus them mentality. The most important things on this list is we're going to need, and honestly, when I say charismatic leader, it is not someone who you imagine dancing, having conversations with anyone. A charismatic leader is someone who's relatable by every single person in the audience. So you don't have to be this crazy, outgoing, extrinsic person. I don't consider myself one. I don't consider my business partner, who was the main cult figure, one. Essentially, it is just about being relatable. The most important part beyond being relatable and authentic in yourself is going to be a clear enemy and a transformational promise. If you can get those extremely dialed in, you're going to be able to, first off, enlighten a better hope for the future. And then you're also going to be able to have something that you're running away from. As we like to position it, you're going to have an ice cream truck and you're going to have a burning building. So you're running away from the burning building and you're chasing an ice cream truck. Now, case study that we all know is The Real World by Andrew Tate. Now, as a charismatic leader, Tate is the bold, polarizing leader with a crazy amount of success. Bugattis, you know the deal. Now, clear enemy, just as a short, is the Matrix. Core belief system is going to be masculinity, self-reliance, hard work, etc., etc. Exclusive community, so he has some crazy high-ticket one that I believe is called the War Room, and then he also has one called the Real World, which is a lot cheaper. Then he has symbolic identity, positioning his kind of whole lifestyle in the way that he lives, fighting, training, working as the ideal lifestyle for people to follow, has dedicated routines that he has people follow as a part of joining his program, transformational promise of pretty much achieving his life and everything that he's done, us versus them mentality, which is probably the one that he does the best, which is the Matrix, and pretty much like the government, the elites, anyone trying to stop you. Charismatic phrases, and you've heard so many of them. He's done such a great job of them. Probably one's coming to your mind right now. Clear hierarchy, emotional connection, reward system, and a visionary purpose. Now, he nails every single one of the boxes here, and you can see online, regardless of what you think of the guy, he has a lot of people that he influences. So imagine with your cause and what you teach people, you're able to influence people in the same way and have them hand over fist dedicated to your methodology so that they can see results and change their own lives. Now, if you want to do this for yourself, the process of actually doing it. And before I do that, I want to first explain that social media is going to be a cheat code for actually doing this. Now, many successful cult followings in the past had to operate on an in-person basis. They had to meet with every single person that they spoke with. It was kind of the slow out one-to-one leverage process. However, what social media and with the ability to just sit here, talk for 30 minutes like I am right now, post online and then have however many people see it, it gives me the ability to have parasocial influence at leverage and scale. Now, essentially what this is going to look like is instead of having to go one-to-one with every single person like this, and I have to do this time and time again, I now have the ability to create one blanket thing here and have it seen by, let's just say, X amount of people that fall under this bucket. And what this does, it allows us to optimize our whole day for what I like to call one-to-many activities. And if we can go from one-to-many activities pretty much all day, we're creating so much leverage in our business that we can in turn work less and see more results because we're going to improve the actual quality of everything that we do. Now, when it comes to actually implementing the day-to-day of this, here is now the things that you can do. First thing you can do is you want to first off take the natural inclinations that you have. So as someone right now who runs a coaching business, has a personal brand, you have things you do that make you you that you don't even realize. When I had to dissect mine, I realized that I'm always wearing hats for some reason. Wasn't even aware of it. And you're going to find these things about yourself, and instead of trying to introduce something new, like for example, me wearing crazy glasses all the time, I only am going to enlarge in the things that I'm already doing. Now, the first thing is going to be 1 to 3 things about your physical appearance or environment that you can change in order to make yourself more memorable and more recognizable to people that see you. So an example of this could be wearing the same shirt, same hat, same hairstyle in every single video, or it could be having a super unique office that people just remember. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to make the appearance of you in your own world something that people remember and something that people can be excited about returning to when they see your videos, etc., etc. The second thing is going to be a unique format. So this is also a part that makes you memorable, but it's something that's going to allow viewers to consistently recur on your process. The way that I would go ahead and do this is I would analyze your top performing videos, so the videos that have got the most views in the past. And if you don't, then you get a free choice of whatever kind of style that you like making the most and you believe you can provide the most value in. And you're going to deconstruct it and then you're going to reconstruct it with specific elements that make it unique to you. So for example, if you're going on a Google Doc like this, you can include your branding. If your company logo is red, you could make your entire browser theme red, essentially just customizing it for you and what you do. And then once you've done that, the next phase is going to be to enlarge your USP and create a transformational vision. Now, if I could get across one thing to you, this is probably going to be it. What is your unique methodology of delivering results? Now, a lot of people, they state their offer. Let's say we have a crazy offer of an appointment setting agency, and we're saying to people, hey, I will book you an additional 30 appointments per month. Now, that's a great offer, but there's no USP to it. And what USP stands for is unique solving proposition. And essentially what that is going to look like is, okay, you can get me this result, but how and why? And if you can break that down, and specifically the elements of, okay, how much time is the customer going to have to spend working to book those 30 appointments? Are those 30 appointments going to be showed appointments? Are they going to have pre-qualification set up? What does the input going to look on? What are the activities that I need to do that? Am I scaling with science or is it creativity? Are we going to be producing organic content that's super high quality and you're going to guarantee that? Or are you going to be running cold email and you're going to guarantee that? And if you can outline all these questions and create a transformational vision that's unique, especially to your own story of how you achieve something, it's going to be extremely strong. A great example of this could be at my company, Scholar Systems. So we believe in the concept of first principles. If a coach spends all their time focusing on the most fundamental aspects of scaling their business, which is going to be marketing in a one-to-many form and then delivering their product in a one-to-many form, they can actually work 4 hours per week and scale to 100K a month on 80% profit margins. And therefore, all that we do at our company is build the boring infrastructure around them in order to have them simply focus on their unique skill a day. That is the whole vision that we do. And it's unique in the sense of we focus on a core thing. And I also outline what someone's life looks as a result of working with me is. And this is ultimately why you're watching this video still right now. The core element of why I run my business the way I do made me position this video the way I did, and the way I positioned this video has made you watch up until this point. So you must do the exact same thing with your ideal customer and everything that you build. And then finally, you're going to have emotional connections. So I want you to write down all these shared and mutual experiences that you actually have with your ideal customer. Maybe you didn't go to college. Maybe you joined the same course. Maybe you had the same experience with your first client or sales call. I want you to write these things down, remember them, and constantly reference them in your marketing assets because it's what allows you to show that you were once in their shoes and to actually build an emotional connection with the viewer. Only once you create these experiences and share them from your own perspectives do you actually become a one-of-one niche. No one can replicate you because no one has your story. So the implementation steps to actually do all this is 2 to 3 sales assets designed on YouTube per week. So this is essentially videos that are reverse engineered around your USP and what you do. So if you're making a video and you believe in high mathematical scaling and number crunching, there's going to be a video that embodies that exact principle. You're going to have spreadsheets up. You're going to be doing calculators. That is you. Now, if you are more of a laissez-faire creative type and you're making that high number crunching video, it doesn't make sense because even if someone likes that video, there's a very low chance they're going to convert and be your customer. You want to make videos centered around actually converting people. Second thing is going to be a consistent recognition of your USB. So when you can actually do these sales asset design videos in that format, it becomes very easy to actually align it with the USP that you do. And then from that, you're going to do retargeting ads on social media with a budget of $20 per day as you build an audience. So at this point, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Alex, that's great. Yes, you might be able to create a charismatic leader in yourself. And yeah, you might be able to create this vision, but who's actually going to fall under it and actually embody it and resonate with it? And how is it actually going to make me money in the immediate sense? Because I want to make money right now. Now, that's a question that I ask myself as well. So what I want to do is I want to debunk a little bit of the action steps that actually go into seeing success with this. The most important part of actually building your personal brand in this way is simply getting clear about why you are making videos. I see so many people online, and when they make their YouTube content, it seems as though they're actually posting these videos for views. They're talking about concepts that do not relate to their product, they do not relate to their service, and in these videos, they're not even mentioning the fact that they have a product. Now, it's one thing to have a hard call to action about what you do and whether you agree with that or not is simply a method of strategy. But if you are not enlightening people as to what your product is and making content around that topic, then you're not even going to see any success in the first place, and you're operating a lot more as an influencer. I talked about this in one of my previous videos, which I'll include below since it's very important, but your ideal prospect is not watching the videos that masses are if you're selling a high ticket product, which is probably one of the easiest ways to scale to 100K a month and beyond. They're watching those hyper niched, boring videos like the one that you're watching right now to actually learn the action steps of what they want to implement. And if they watch other videos, it's for entertainment. Those are not people that they're considering giving money to. So in your videos, one of the core things that you can do with your personal brand is to start optimizing as if you were on stage with a room full of your ideal customers, giving a keynote on why they should work with you. And if you're able to do that and remain a consistent posting schedule, the process of scaling becomes extremely easy. And below, I'll have videos linked with all the KPIs and everything that you have, along with a full tutorial on first principle scaling, which is the methodology my coaching business follows. So if you're interested, drop below and check those out. But outside of that, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.